If you have a passion around beauty, skincare, and makeup, Sephora is a great place to work. But you're not alone. A lot of people want to work at Sephora, so getting a job there is incredibly competitive. But it's about to be a lot less competitive for you. Because in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you actual interview questions they're going to ask you during your interview with Sephora, and then teach you from a recruiter's perspective exactly how to answer them so you stand out as the best possible candidate. This is the first video in a series of videos on how to get hired at Sephora. So if you are not already subscribed, please hit subscribe. If you find value in this video, please hit like. It's free and it motivates me to make more videos like this. And let's get into it. Now, the first question you're going to get asked during your interview with Sephora is, why do you want to work for us? Or why do you want to work here? Or why do you want to work for Sephora? And this is a critical question. This is often the question that separates people from either getting the job or not getting the job. Because a lot of people who are going to be interviewing are equally qualified, but they're looking for passionate candidates who can give them a compelling reason as to why you should hire them. Now, why do you want to work here is really important, but it's very easy to answer if you use the 50-50 method. Now, the 50-50 method means the first 50% of your answer needs to be about the company. Why is the company compelling to you? And the second 50%, well, that needs to be about why you're a great fit for the role you are interviewing for. This could be your past experience, your knowledge, etc. So there are a lot of good examples to use. You could use the company's products that they carry. You could use, the fact that you've been a customer for a while and you've loved the experience, etc. Find something that makes you passionate about the brand, Sephora. That's the first 50%. The second 50% is why you are uniquely qualified to come in and do a great job immediately. Now, the next question is, tell us about your previous retail experience. This is a common sense question, right? You're interviewing for a role. They want to understand what you've done in the past that would make you qualified and ready for their type of role. So the key to answering this question is pretty simple. You want to give them a quick rundown of the prior jobs you have had, if you have had retail jobs, in succinct order. So tell them, I've done this was my role, then I moved to this company, and that company, I did this, where I mostly dealt with these type of customers, etc. Now, it's really important to be positive about all of this. Don't talk negatively about any of these employers along the way. It's really easy to be like, I worked at this company first, I got a lot of retail experience, but I felt the management was really poor there, so I moved to this company. A lot of candidates do that, and they don't necessarily do it on purpose, but the hiring manager, what they're going to hear is, oh, this person's negative. Maybe they were the problem. So give them a quick rundown. Don't take forever. Walking through your experiences should probably take you no more than 45 to 60 seconds. Make sure you're positive about all of it. And then you want to highlight any similarities. So if you worked at a role where you previously had very similar experience as to what you would be doing for Sephora, you want to make mention of it. It's really important that you highlight the similarities because that lets them know that you're qualified and ready to start. Now, this next question is a great one. We mostly deal with beauty products. What role do they play in your life? So this is basically them asking you, are you passionate about this? Do you care about this? Do you use these type of things? Because if you're interviewing and your answer is, well, they don't play a prominent role in my life, that's not compelling. It's not what they're looking for, and they're probably not going to hire you. This is an opportunity to demonstrate passion. So when you're answering this question, you don't want to come off as like overly enthusiastic and over the top, but you do want to state that this is important. The next question is, this is quite a repetitive job with super long shifts. How are you going to ensure that you stay motivated? This is really interesting because this is kind of a two-in-one question. One, it's what I call a pass-fail question. You can either give them a great answer that you're going to be able to stay motivated, in which you pass, or you're going to give them an answer that isn't compelling, in which they have doubts about your ability to do something critical to the job, in which case fail. The other thing this is what I call a scare tactic question, where they're trying to root out the people who they feel aren't going to be a fit, right? They're saying, hey, this is quite repetitive and they're super long shifts. And if they sense any fear or sense that you're not up to the challenge of that, like, you might start to pull away as a candidate, but they can also see it and identify you as not a great candidate. So what are the keys to that? Well, you want to let them know that you are totally okay with that. And that, you're able to stay motivated. So a few things. One, you want to let them know that, right? You want to explain to them that that is not a problem to you. You are not deterred by that. and you are willing to embrace that. If you have past experiences in which you worked jobs with long shifts, with repetitive work, this is a great time to reference them because you're demonstrating that you've done it in the past and it won't be a problem here. The next question is, why did you leave your last job? And there's really two different ways to view this. One, if you are currently employed and they're talking about you leaving this job to come work for Sephora, and the other is if you're unemployed. Now, if you currently have a job and they're saying, why are you interested in leaving your job to come work here? One of the way I always advise people to answer this is let them know that you're not necessarily looking, but you feel compelled to pursue this opportunity. So that sounds something like this. That's a really good question. I'm actually quite happy where I'm at. I have a good job, I have a good team, but I gotta be honest, I came across this opening and I felt compelled to pursue it because I love Sephora, the brand. I've been a customer for a very long time. I love your products, I love the experience. So while I'm not looking, this is a job that I feel really passionate about. I think I'd be great at it and I love doing it. So I wanted to pursue this, but I'm not generally speaking looking to leave my job. It's more about what I'm looking to go do. So what I did there was I made it not about what I'm running from, but what I'm running to. You always want to do that. Now, if you're unemployed, it is really important when you're talking about your prior job to not be negative. You don't want to be overly negative. Being negative never serves you in an interview setting. It just doesn't. But you also want to be realistic, right? You want to give them an answer that makes sense. Be like, well, I left my last job because I really wanted to focus on school. But now the semester's over and I've passed what was like a more course load heavy time in my life and I'm ready to get back to work and this seems like a great job for me. Or, I left my last job because I need to focus on blank. Give them a good reason, but make sure they know that that's no longer going to be a threat. They can't walk away thinking they left this last job for a reason. They might leave our job for the same reason. Let them know that whatever forced you to leave your prior job, well, it's no longer an issue. Now, this next question is a customer-facing classic, and it's how would you deal with an upset customer? And there's a few things here. One, you can't be intimidated by this question. When they're asking you this question, you can't be like, ooh, I don't know. You have to demonstrate confidence to handle this. But there's a few things. You want to, one, listen to the customer. Let the customer know that you hear them, they are seen. Then what you want to do is empathize with it. Now, past that, what you want to do is not take it personally. You can't take it personal when a customer is upset. So you need to let them know that you've done with this in the past. It's really important to listen to the customer, let them know that you hear them and you see them and that you understand them, not take it personally, and then work to resolve whatever issue they have and go above and beyond if necessary so that you could turn this person who is currently upset with your brand into a brand advocate. And that's what you want to convey when you're answering this question. If you can do those things, you'll absolutely crush this question. Now, this next question, and I love this one, is why should we hire you? What they're saying is actually something slightly different than what they actually said. They said, why should we hire you? But what that question means in an interview context is why should we hire you instead of somebody else? So you've got to give them a compelling reason to hire you instead of one of the many other qualified candidates they're going to talk to. So what do you do here? You want to talk about how your experience is aligned. You've done similar work before, and you are well qualified. Okay, qualifications number one. Number two, you want to talk on your passion. You're passionate about this. As we discussed earlier, hiring managers, they're always going to prefer a candidate who is passionate around the area. The third thing you want to focus on, and this is a trifecta, is what is your unique advantage? So if there is something you have in your background that allows you to be more effective than your competition, this is where you share it. Now, what can that look like in this setting? Maybe it's you're bilingual. So you speak English and Spanish, so maybe you can help additional customers that somebody who only speaks English can't. Maybe it's that you did some sort of professional makeup work. Maybe you were in theater and you did the makeup for the people before they went on stage. Maybe, you have a YouTube channel in which you actually talk about makeup. Maybe you are just someone who has a ton of experience with skincare, with makeup, whatever it is. You need to find what elevates you above other people that maybe the competition for this role they won't have. And if you can convey all three of those things while answering this question, you're going to crush it. You're going to blow away the competition and you're going to increase the likelihood that you are the one who gets hired. Now, other questions that you need to be prepared to answer are behavioral interview questions. They are some of the most challenging and most popular to be asked during an interview. which is why I made this video here. This video here is some of the behavioral interview questions you're gonna get asked in your interview, and then I teach you how to answer them with examples. This video is the perfect pairing to this video, so I am done here, but I will see you over there, because if you watch this video and that video, you are going to set yourself up for like absolute interview success. So I'll see you over there.